Meghan's a big fan fiction writer Anais Nin's explicit novels. I can reveal Prince Harry's wife is an avid reader of fiction writer Anais Nin. She even referenced one of the author's saucy characters in an email address. When she started dating the royal in 2016, she used an email which featured a term which was a nod to the French author's autobiographical novel The Chambered Heart. The book includes a threesome which is described as an explosive amorous rendezvous. Meghan's address included a reference to a quote from the female lead Juna, who says to her married male lover, Rango, "I must be a mermaid, Rango. I have no fear of depths and a great fear of shallow living." A source said, Meghan was a big fan of Anais' work when she met Harry and was using this email address then. A lot of Anais' books are quite explicit, but Meghan likes the arty way they are written. Anais is a feminist icon and Meghan found what she wrote very interesting and liberating. She used that email address for ages, but I don't think she ever thought anyone would realize what it was in relation to. The Chambered Heart came out in 1950, one of many works published from her throughout the 20th century. Anais died in 1977. And now there is more from the author for Meghan to get stuck into. A collection of short stories written by her called Little Birds has inspired a Sky Atlantic series of the same name. The shows will feature Hugh Skinner, who played Wills in Teleroyal Spoofle Windsors, and Juno Temple, who features in one particularly saucy scene. Perhaps being offered a role in that could be what tempts the stay-away Duchess to finally return to acting. Anais Nin's the feminist writer who inspired Meghan Markle to explore deeper waters in Vogue. The first time Henry Miller made love to Anais Nin, he pounced on her with such ferocity that she felt she'd been ravished by a cannibal. It was 1932 and the 20th century's most notorious writers were together at her rented chateau outside Paris. Nin's husband was a rich banker, so she had paid for the impoverished Miller to travel from Dijon, where he was eking out a living as a teacher. As they explored the grounds together, neither was in any doubt about what was to follow. But even a seasoned philanderer such as Nin was taken by surprise when Miller threw her to the ground. She was utterly smitten. Nin, spirit and the former darling of the literary avant-garde, is back in the news after the Duchess of Sussex revealed that the French-Cuban writer has been an important inspiration in her life. In the September issue of Vogue, which Meghan has guest-edited, she approvingly quotes the line, "I must be a mermaid. I have no fear of depths and a great fear of shallow living," from Nin's semi-autobiographical novel, The Chambered Heart. The Duchess, who says she read the book many moons ago, explains, "For this issue, I imagined, why would we swim in the shallow end of a pool when we could go to the deep end? A metaphor for life, as well as for this issue. Let's be braver. Let's go a bit deeper." Dismissed by critics during her colorful lifetime as the purveyor of pretentious, self-indulgent drivel and overheated novels, Nin has since been rescued from obscurity by a new generation of feminists, who revere her pioneering candor about men, women and her refusal to abide by gender conventions. She was certainly a force to contend with. Nin, who died in 1977 aged 73, was once derided as a monster of self-centeredness whose artistic pretensions now seem grotesque. Yet today her aphorisms are frequently quoted online by a growing legion of fans who are rediscovering her. "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are," is a particular favorite. That even today online retailer Amazon hides it in its adult content dungeon. She certainly hasn't always been a fashionable name to drop into conversation. Born in 1903 near Paris to a Spanish-Cuban father and French-Danish mother who split up when she was 8. The beautiful Nin earned a reputation for her untrammeled life long before anyone noticed her writing. Aged 20, she married a wealthy banker, Hugo Weiler, whose financial support would help bankroll her literary efforts. As she recorded in her diaries and in novels that were thinly disguised memoirs, Nin repaid his devotion by cheating on him relentlessly with the many men who became besotted with her. She was fixated with Freud's theories of psychoanalysis and seduced 2 leading practitioners who agreed to analyze her. Initially, her writing career was unsuccessful and she had to self-publish 4 of the 9 works of fiction released during her lifetime. Only one of them, Under a Glass Bell, drew any praise from critics. Her most explicit book, a collection short stories called Delta of Venus, was published posthumously. In fact, it had never been intended for publication as she had written it to order, at $1 a page, in the 1930s for a millionaire businessman in Paris. It was the affair with Miller that helped define her. It was in the early 1930s when Nin, then in her late 20s, met the impoverished, foul-mouthed and bullying author. When she was 44, she met Rupert Poole, a handsome actor, in a lift as they went up to a millionaire's Manhattan party in 1947. It wasn't until 1966 that Nin finally achieved literary fame. Infamy might be nearer the mark. When the first volume of her diaries was published, she'd begun writing them at 11 and they ran to 35,000 pages. Their popularity persuaded her to quietly annul her marriage, fearing that the financial success that followed the first volume of her newly published diaries might alert the U.S. taxman to the fact that two men were claiming spousal allowances for her. When Miller brought the manuscript of his latest novel into her hospital room after the termination, she declared, "Here is a birth which is of greater interest to me." Fans may venerate Nin now as a pioneer for modern feminism, but she didn't always sound like one. "Nature connived me to be man's woman," she said in her diary. "Not a mother to children, but to men." That is why we can see Nin's inner side through his novels. Meghan has learned a lot from her about the powerful woman and has become a huge fan of Nin. Thank you for watching. If you like our video, would you please help us like, share and subscribe our channel. Wish you happy to see our videos. Thank you very much.